ध्यायामोद्धवलावगुण्ठनवती तेजोमयीं नैष्टकीं स्निग्धां पाङ्गविलोकिनीं भगवतीं मन्दस्मितश्रीमुखीम् वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणी सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिनी श्यामाङ्गी मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरी अमृतानन्दात्मिकामीश्वरी अमृतानन्दात्मिका ईश्वरी.
Namaskar all. Welcome to another interesting webinar organized by Amrita Online CS Department. I'm Anjali here. We are so proud to have Mr. Arvind Inavolu, a consultant and solution architect specializing in application modernization and hybrid cloud, to take this webinar for all the students who have joined. With over 20 years of experience in the tech industry, he has focused on systems, platform architecture, and designing solutions for deploying business critical workloads. His mission is to help organizations leverage cloud native technologies to enhance the software delivery performance and foster a culture of innovation. I welcome you, Mr. Arvind.
Thanks a lot, Anjali, for giving a quick intro. Hey everyone, I am Arvind. So I will be your, you would say guide, or I'll be sharing some few of my experiences with everyone, and we will also focus on how Red Hat has changed the entire IT landscape from the last 5 years, especially since COVID, right? And then we'll focus on what things have changed and how Red Hat can add value to your career, right? Based on what you have learned in your curriculum. The same thing is an extended version of Red Hat, like what we see. So nothing different. Whatever you have learned so far in your curriculum, this will be an added extension to what you have learned. Like you have learned, let's say Java, Python, or C, whatever you've learned, right? So once you know the coding, the next challenge would be how you would implement it, right? That's the biggest challenge. Today, we will focus on those kind of DevOps principles and some principles based on DevOps. And then how, what should be your next goals and focus. And then eventually we move on to what Linux sees, and then we proceed with those things like which we will cover. I'll cover that in our agenda, right? So coming part to our agenda, so we, as I said, right, we discuss about DevOps and a few career trends and how companies are leveraging on DevOps and especially on Red Hat. We'll also look at the Red Hat ecosystem. So what are the products that Red Hat carries in its portfolio and how it can add value. And then we will also correlate these topics, again, as I said, right, with your BCA, MCA curriculum, which adds an extension to your learning path. And then at the end, we will discuss about the certification. Again, there are a lot of certifications with Red Hat, but currently we need to focus at least one or two. Those are the preliminary courses, which we will also discuss. And then I'll show you a quick demo. Again, the demo is not on Red Hat, actually, not RHEL, but it is on Red Hat OpenShift. So where I will show you how easy it is to deploy a small application. So that's one thing that we will look at. And then finally, I will open up the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can just note it down, and then you at the time of Q&A, you can just unmute, and then we can openly discuss, like whether it can be technical or it can be any questions related to the trainings, certifications, and all those stuff, right? So let's move on, and then hold your questions until QA so that the webinar will be a bit smoother. And then at the end, I'll answer all the questions, right? Now, so coming part, as Anjali said, right, I'm Arvind Ainavolu, and I'm working as solutions architect from the last 20 years. And I have seen, a tremendous technology change for the last 20 years, right? When I started my career, we started on a bare metal servers, physical servers, right? And eventually we moved to virtual machines, right? And then now the trend is on containers. And the next trend that is going to start, and which has already started, which is running virtual machines on containers. So this is where the whole technology I have gone through, and I can give you example based on my experience, starting from the bare metal until your latest technology, which is your DevOps or AI, right? So, and I've been working in various platforms on the cloud, infra, VMware, Red Hat, Kubernetes, and a lot of other technologies as well, right? And of course, I'm a Red Hat certified trainer, working closely with Amrita Technologies. And I deal with a lot of Red Hat trainings, including RHEL, Red Hat Satellite, Red Hat Enterprise, Linux, Ansible, OpenShift, and all those stuff, right? And also, even as far as training is concerned, I am also associated with Amrita from last 20 years. I've been the guest faculty for Amrita for last 20 years. And then I work closely with Amrita, right? And that's how my bonding is with Amrita, right? Now, so next thing is, let's start our, agenda, right? So probably I wanted to poll a question, right? You can just message, you can use the chat and drop a note. So what are the common buzzword that you use here in the IT industries? Have you heard any buzzwords, common buzzwords? Do you remember? You can respond in the chat, right? Just to understand, like, how you guys are, active in the market. So any buzzwords that you have seen, right? So anyone? Let me check the chat. Right? Okay. Exactly. Yes, I got the answer. Yes, yes. Right? Okay, okay. Good, good, good. Yes. Good. Everyone is all aligned. Yes, yes. Good. Okay. Right? So, good. Yes, yes, I'm still receiving. I will wait for another maybe a minute just to see the responses, because I just want to understand how you guys are following the current IT trends, right? Right. So we'll wait for another maybe another 10 seconds. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Yeah. So yes, good. I mean, I got huge responses. I'm still getting the responses. So 80% of the responses are mostly on AI, right? Artificial intelligence, AI, ML ops, data science, right? Data engineers, data mining, right? LLMs. So these are all 80%. The response is on AI, right? And then maybe 1-2% is on, 1 person has mentioned Kubernetes. That is also good. One person is on cybersecurity. It's also good. And some people, I know one person has mentioned monolithic. I think it's a monolithic app. So that's also um, uh, the key concept, but that's not the buzzword, right? Yes. So yeah, so neural networks again, these are all part of AML, and few folks also has mentioned cloud, right? So yes, you are all aligned, and these are the latest technologies, right, which are trending in the market, right? And believe me, these technologies will be there for the next decade, right? As I told you, right, when we started VMware in early 2012, if I'm not wrong, not 12, 2004, 5. At that time, VMware was the leader in the virtualization, and it has ruled the market for the next 2 decades, right? Similarly, this AI, right, and the tool which we discussed, right, those will also stay for the next 1 2 decades minimum, right? So this is how you need to focus on these kind of buzzwords, like technologies, right? What are those buzzwords, right? And the two common buzzwords, especially for the IT industry, right, especially for developer, right, is DevOps and AI. Okay. Now, so again, we will discuss this one by one, what DevOps is, what AI is on a high level, so that I'll give you some understanding of how things works, or how these two things collaborate each other, right? Right. So the two common buzzwords are DevOps and AI, right? So then what exactly these tools are meant for, and how also we will look at how they complement each other. It's not that these two work independently. They used to work independently, but now everything is integrated. Now, right, AI is everywhere, right from your household items to the software that you run on productions, right? So that is how these both are interlinked, DevOps and AI. Now, what exactly is DevOps? Now, before going to DevOps, you might have learned few software technologies, right? Your Java or C, Python, Ruby, Go language. You might have learned many languages, right? Out of which nowadays Python is booming in the market, because this is the main pillar for the AI. And again, you have Java, Python. There are a lot of other programs, right? But it's good that you have learned the programming. That is the real task for the software engineer, right? To learn the software or the technology. But after learning this Java or whatever software technologies, right, where do you deploy? That's the biggest question. And how do you deploy them? And how do you run them? That is the biggest challenge. And especially in the DevOps world, there is no downtime, and they will not expect a downtime when you opt for DevOps culture, right? So everything should be seamless, integrated without any downtime, right? And if you want to achieve this, you cannot run your code on traditional infrastructure like your virtual machines or physical nodes, right? So then, like, as far as I know, in your curriculum, you might have learned various technologies, software technologies, right? How to write code on Java, Python, or C, right? But you might have not encountered the way, you might not be aware, like how the applications will be deployed once the program is written, how it is deployed, right? So that is where the DevOps will come into picture. Okay, so DevOps is not a software. Remember, DevOps is a process, right? Which collaborates people, process, and products, right? So remember, DevOps is not a single tool. It's a process, and it uses, with the help of the process, it unites people, teams, and then it will build the application, right? So there are a lot of phases in the DevOps. Like again, the main purpose of DevOps, you might be aware, because you might be searching this in the internet, right? So the main purpose of DevOps is to reduce the friction between development and operations team. So right, we have operations team and developer team, right? So always there will be a friction between operations team and development team. Operation team says that we don't have infrastructure, development team says that they need the infrastructure or environment quickly, right? Always there is a gap. So this is where the DevOps come into picture, and then you build the DevOps process, right? Yes, someone mentioned CI/CD, absolutely fine. So DevOps also processes CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration and continuous deployment, right? As I said, right, there is no downtime in the DevOps environment. It should be seamless process by using the CI/CD pipeline, right? And then if you observe, how do you develop, how DevOps streamlines the deployments? Like if you observe how an application is built and how an application will be deployed. If you observe, the first phase is planning. You have to plan, you have to develop, right? Once you define a plan, right? Okay, you need to use a Python code, and you need to write a program for so and so set of activities or set of features, right? Once it is there, you need to deploy the code, and then you need to push that to production to deliver it to the customer. And then once the application is running, you need to maintain it, right? And this process is continuous. There is no end to this DevOps cycle. Once you deploy the application, you keep on pushing the application versions one by one based on the new features, bugs that you have fixed so far, right? So that is how the DevOps practices work. Again, DevOps is not a small thing. You might be aware, DevOps involves hundreds of tools like GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins, Maven, Nexus, Altacian, right? There are a lot of tools that collaborate to build your application. But again, it's not necessary to learn all the tools, right? Mostly the tools will work almost the similar way, like GitHub, GitLab. They work similarly, but they have some additional features. You need to focus on those additional features. But so the whole process is same, right? And what is the advantage of using DevOps? See, if you observe the delivery value, right? So in the traditional environments, to deploy an application, it takes minimum 1 day to 3 days just to deploy. Remember, not to write the code, just to deploy, because you need to create VM infrastructure, install dependencies. There are a lot of things, right? Which takes at least 1 to 3 days. And in DevOps, we cannot wait at least for 1 minute as well, right? Increase efficiency by using DevOps. It increases the efficiency, right? And you can efficiently utilize the time, people, resources to deploy the application faster, right? Eliminating waste, right? It eliminates the unnecessary costing, unnecessary infrastructure requirement by seamlessly integrating with the tools, right? Feedback loop, that is very, very important. It will streamline the feedback loop. That is, whenever you write and deliver the code, and when the code is operating, right, there is a feedback loop which continuously runs at the backend, and it continuously takes the feedbacks. From the feedback, that feedback will be given as an input to the planning state, and then with the help of that feedback, you will start building the next features of the application, right? Continuously improve. See, when you have continuous feedback, you have continuous improve, right? When you improve, you will deliver faster, right? And ultimately, the customers or the end users will be happy because they have seamless integrations. And when you upgrade, there is no downtime also, right? So this is what the customer expects, right? So this is what you get when you use DevOps, right? Again, as I said, like it's not a small thing, but we have to slowly pick up each and every tool to come to that stage, right? But it cannot, as I said, right, it's not just a software, it's a collection of process and people, right? You need to learn those tools. Similarly, next, now, if you look at these things, right, there are few things which we are still manually doing in DevOps as well. Few things like checking your log files, right, and proactively identifying the issues, right. See, this DevOps is a kind of a reactive where if something happens, it will give you some suggestions. But rather than reactive, I want my DevOps environment to be proactive, give suggestions that try to increase your memory, CPU, or try to change this parameter to get better performance, right? So I need that kind of inputs proactively, right? So that is where the AI will come into picture, right? So AI has also added not only value in every field, AI has also come up into the DevOps environment, right? So AI, it's also transforming DevOps by making the by integrating AI with this software pipeline, which is your CI/CD, right? So what happens is AI will add predictive intelligence to your application. Like as I said, right? I don't need a reactive environment. I need a proactive environment. My software should guide me like how I can improve my application based on the feedback. Rather than sitting and checking my logs, it has to proactively give the details, right? So this is where AI comes in and adds value to the my application or the DevOps, right? So now this AI has turned this DevOps into the intelligent DevOps, where it predicts the my application, my pipeline, identify the issues, and then it suggests me to fix or even to improve the CI/CD pipelines. Right. Again, I know this session is mostly is on Red Hat, right? You might have a question like, "Hey, why come we are discussing? How come we are discussing DevOps and other technologies?" Right? There is a reason why we are doing this, right? We'll come to that point in a moment, right? Right. So yeah, probably I'll go back and I'll just quickly cover what we have discussed, right? So this is what I was talking, right? The buzzwords, and then the main keywords were DevOps and AI, and then the DevOps, like the software technologies that you learn, right? Any technologies will be implemented using the DevOps. So DevOps is nothing but it's a union of people, process, and products. And then yeah, this is how the DevOps will streamline your what you call your uh, application, right? Using the plan, develop, deliver, and operate your you know the application deployments, right? So you guys can see, right? I can see, yeah, some people can see, yeah, fine, right? And then how AI adds value in DevOps, as I said, right? AI adds predictive intelligence to your DevOps, and it converted, okay. So Anjali or someone confirm whether my screen is blur or
No, no, no. Your screen is fine. So whoever is not able to see, please check your network. It might be your network issue.
yeah. Yeah, because I am mine is a good network, so just want to double confirm. Yeah, right. So that is how the AI adds value to your DevOps. That is how the AI adds value to your DevOps, right? Now, how what again? The question is, what is the advantage of integrating your AI with the DevOps, right? So as I said, right, the first thing is it will do a predictive analysis and incident management. Like if something happens, if a log occurred, or if it sees not only error, if it sees a warning, right? Warning also is like it's not like an error, it's a warning, right? So even the AI will predict the analysis and also predict the incident management, right? And it also tests the entire life cycle intelligently, right? And then it continuously feedbacks and update and optimize the entire life cycle, right? Now, similarly, resource management, it also does the resource management like intelligently, like whether you need, see, a DevOps, basically you use container platform in DevOps, right, which we will discuss in a couple of slides. So there you have a flexibility to scale up, scale down your application. So AI will also help intelligently to scale up, scale down your application based on the usage. Let's say if a customer has released a feature, right? If we are running e-commerce website, and if I have released a deal of the day, right, I'll see a lot of hits to my website, right? So the website might hung. So in that case, if you use DevOps, the applications will be easily scaled up, and once the day is finished, the application or the containers will be brought down to reduce the load, right? So that is how your Kubernetes and what you call AI will work together to intelligently manage the resources at the backend, right? And also using this AI, code review is one of the biggest achievement or biggest thing that you can achieve using what you call AI. So AI can review the code and it can do the quality checks and then it give you the analysis. Based on that, you can change the code. Once you change the code, you can push the code, and you can deploy the application. Right? No? Now, yeah. So again, someone was asking me a real-time example, right? So I'll give you a simple example, right? Probably you might be using Amazon, Amazon a mobile app, or your even if you're in India, your Flipkarts, you have e-commerce websites, or you have your banking apps like ICICI, HDFC, right? Few of the banks, and I mean, let's say an example of Amazon, right? You have a lot of activities. When you open up the Amazon website on your browser, you see a lot of things, right? You see your cart, you see your deals of the day, you see your account information, your credit card information. You have a lot of things, right? Right. So, do you think that it is just a single application running on a single host? No. So, what that is where we move from monolithic application to the DevOps or microservices based application. So what happens is every component of Amazon, right? Your card is one microservice. Your credit card information, account information is one service. Deal of the day, like if Amazon releases a deal of the day, right? Like a mobile phone or a TV, whatever you see, right? That is deal of the day. That is one, container it runs, right? So now all these containers or applications works independently, and then collectively it works to give you a web interface with all these features. That's the reason at times when you log in, your cart will be empty if you observe carefully. But after few seconds or maybe after an hour, the items will be back to your cart. Why? Because Amazon is performing some activity only on that particular cart so that it won't impact the other services. Still, people can search the items, compare the items, and review the items, check all those details, right? So this is how the real DevOps will work, right? So the DevOps will work independently, and each service, the whole application will be split into microservices, and they work independently using APIs, and then at the end you will see a cumulative result of your website. So that is how the DevOps will work, right? Even your Netflix, right, uses containers, which is your DevOps. A lot of companies like your DBS Bank, right? They also work on OpenShift, especially, right? So there are a lot of examples that this is how the microservices works with the help of the DevOps, right? And that is the reason the deployments will be much more easier. Troubleshooting will be easier. Like if you have a let's take an example. Like if I have a 1,000 line code, and if I got an error, it will take time for me to identify that error, right? But if it is a 100 line code, yes, I can do that. I can easily troubleshoot it, right? Same logic. Like if you divide your application into smaller pieces like microservices, you will have more visibility, and you can fix the issues and understand how things work, right? So that is how the DevOps works, in the production environment, right? And similarly, what is the business impact when you integrate this AI with DevOps? It reduces the downtime. Of course, DevOps itself is to reduce the time, but by using the AI, you are still cutting down the time, right? So that is how you can reduce the time. Faster releases, of course, when there is no downtime, when there is predictive analysis, right? Of course, the releases will be faster, right? Enhances security. Of course, when you see AI is not just only restricted to DevOps or to particular software, right? It is everywhere, right? When you use AI, it checks or predicts your application, network, routing, right? Load and performance, right? It will do a thorough health checks or checks on the whole application lifecycle. And then it will, and when you do this, of course, cost is optimized. That is, when you deploy your applications on Amazon or public clouds, that consumes a lot of resources, and you will end up paying more, right? So if you use intelligent platforms like AI DevOps, definitely that can cut down the cloud costs, cloud expenses, right? That is how, right? That is how the DevOps can help. AI DevOps will help you to automate the things, right? Now, this is a real life stories. Like this is a real case studies of the company. So you might have heard about, I mean, not heard about. You might be using your Facebooks and of course Google, right? So they, of course, see the container technology was first brought into the market by Google actually, right? So Google started using containers from last 2012, right? So every day in day out, they perform lot of commits, lot of pushes, lot of deployments, right? If you observe the Google, 50% of the code changes every month. Remember how big will be the Google's code? Because they have a lot of services, right? As per the analysis, 50% of the code changes every month. And do you see any downtime in Google? Hardly no, right? I have seen only one downtime for the last 10 years or so, right? One downtime, if I'm not wrong. That too because there was some issue with the sea cabling somewhere, right? So that is how your production application runs with the help of the DevOps, and of course nowadays by integrating with AI, you get more stubbornness to your application platforms, right? Now, again, so that is how that is the buzzwords, and those are the buzzwords in the market, DevOps and AI. And now the actual topic for the day is Red Hat, right? Now, why Red Hat? What Red Hat does? How Red Hats add value to this buzzwords, which is your DevOps and AI, right? So that is where right. So this is the most interesting slide that you need to focus and you need to understand now. Like if you observe carefully, the diagram on the left side shows the entire DevOps tools. Again, don't worry about, don't get carried away with all these tools, but these are all the tools that are part of the DevOps life cycle, and you need to focus on these tools and learn them one by one, but it will take some time. But if you observe carefully, what is the first layer that you see on the screen, right? If you see, let me bring up my highlighter so that I can, right? So you can see my highlighter, right? The first phase is Linux, right? The first phase is Linux. Now, for any DevOps platform, right? If you observe, as a matter of fact, it's not like not only DevOps, most of the enterprise applications runs on Linux platforms, right? Mostly, right? So Linux is base for every platform, be it a DevOps, be it a monolithic application, be it a physical server, or be it a virtual machine, or be it a container. It needs Linux operating system, right? Now, on top of that Linux operating system, whether you use virtual machine or containers or physical nodes, you need networking, right? So networking is where you need to understand the network topology, load balancers, firewalls. Again, you don't have to be in depth in learning these network technologies, because again, it depends. If you want to pick up networking as your path or security to your path, then of course yes, you need to learn networking. But if you are choosing the developer path and a DevOps role, having a good knowledge on networking will add a lot of value. Right? So you need to know HTTP, HTTPS, how the packet flows, how to encrypt the data for your websites. All those things will be covered in the networking piece. right? Now, on top
Sorry
of
to
this,
interrupt, sir.
yeah,
So, are you on the same slide? How AI add values to DevOps?
no, I am in the,
So, because the slide is stuck then, because it's still on that slide.
I am on the same
Can you
slide,
reshare that, please?
right? So now, networking is one of the portion, right? And then on top of this, you need to learn cloud services, like any cloud. Again, you don't have to be expert in all the clouds, either AWS or Azure or Google, but mostly people tend to use AWS. Again, it's up to the companies to decide, but AWS is very, very prominent, and then Azure. So you can focus on either on AWS or Azure, right? That is one cloud platform, followed by security. So you need to understand how to apply security policies on top of your environment, because security plays a major role, right? And then on top of that, you need to learn container orchestration tools like Docker, Kubernetes, and OpenShift, because DevOps runs on container platform. Of course, it runs on virtual machines, but because virtual machine has some limitations, if you are using DevOps, it should be your containers. You should run your environments on top of the container technologies like Kubernetes and OpenShift, right? And on top of the orchestration, you also need to have experience on the automation tools like Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Terraform, or CloudFormation from Ansible, from AWS, right? So this is the automation tool that you can use to automate your pipeline, right? Then on top of that, you need to have observability, which is your monitoring, your Grafana, Prometheus, Nginx, ELK stack, right? So all these are the monitoring tools. And finally, the last layer is CI/CD, right? Where you have Git, GitLab, Bitbucket from Atlassian, Argo CD, Jenkins, Azure DevOps. These are all the tools that adds value, that performs your CI/CD pipelines, right? Now, so this is where um, these are the tools that you need to focus, that you need to learn in order to manage the DevOps environment. So as I said, DevOps is environment you need to learn right from Linux to CI/CD, the whole pipeline, right? Now, how does Red Hat empowers organization, right? So as I told you, right, DevOps needs Kubernetes, right? So again, Kubernetes is an open source. In productions, we are not supposed to use open source tools. That is, right? Open source tools are the tools which doesn't have any support, because these are open source tools which are built by the community, right? So you cannot use that in productions because there is no accountability. Like if you what do you call if you have any issues, or if you encounter any issues, you will not have an SLA, because that has been built by the uh, uh, community, right? So you need to use enterprise tools, which is nothing but OpenShift. So OpenShift upstream project is Kubernetes, right? So whatever the Red Hat has taken the Kubernetes code, and it has added the support as well as the features, and it made the Kubernetes as the enterprise Kubernetes. So this is the platform where the whole IT landscape has changed, especially after the COVID, right? So people started exploring the container platform OpenShift, and they deployed OpenShift, and they also nowadays they are running OpenShift AI on top of Red Hat, right? And if you observe carefully, what is the underlying uh, base operating system, which is enterprise Linux. So first of all, to learn DevOps, you need to be expert in Kubernetes and OpenShift. But where exactly your OpenShift and Kubernetes runs, it runs on top of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So your Red Hat Enterprise Linux will be the base for your whole DevOps and AI. Nowadays, even the AI, Gen AI, or you call it as any AI, Gen AI or there are a lot of AAs and LLMs, and there are a lot of technologies, AI technologies that they are running, right? Those will run on top of OpenShift, right? I mean, they can run it on normal VMs as well, but if you want to run a production grade, we call it as ML ops, AI ops, right? So this is where you can seamlessly integrate your DevOps principles to the AI ML as well, and you perform the operations seamlessly or using the AI ML operations, right? So that is possible using Red Hat OpenShift. And to run OpenShift, you have to know the Red Hat Linux. So the base for your operating system, the base for your DevOps is Red Hat. So that is the key focus that you need to focus. Once you learn Linux, then you have to slowly explore Kubernetes, OpenShift, containers, and at least you need to have one cloud. Parallelly, you need to learn one cloud. It can be Azure or AWS, and then finally you will end up learning the CI/CD tools. So this is how your learning path should be, right? Now, what is Enterprise Linux? So Enterprise Linux provides a flexible and stable foundation to support hybrid cloud innovation. As I told you, right, in the previous slide, your Enterprise Linux is the backbone for your hybrid cloud. Without Linux, you will not be able to build the hybrid cloud platform. So that Linux is a base for your hybrid cloud platform, right? And it closely works with your infrastructure. It can be physical machine, virtual machine, public cloud, private cloud, including your IoT devices, edge devices. And you can deploy a container on your edge device or on your IoT device as well. Right? So that is how you can leverage on Red Hat Enterprise Linux to deploy irrespective of whatever is the platform. Right? Now, Enterprise Linux. Right? So again, why do we need Enterprise Linux? Right? So Red Hat will spend more time on innovation. If you observe Red Hat 4 and Red Hat 10, right, there are tremendous changes in the way how they have molded this Red Hat operating system to accommodate the latest trend in the market, right? So the technology is changing, right? The software technology is right, changing, right? DevOps, AI, ML, and all those stuff, right? Based on those requirements, Red Hat has innovated the underlying operating system so that you can still accommodate, run those softwares on top of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Right? Of course, Red Hat is an enterprise software and it is protected, and you will get the updates from Red Hat frequently. If there is any vulnerabilities, Red Hat will take care of the vulnerabilities and they will release the patches and you can update your machines with the latest patches. Right? Of course, Red Hat is one of the trusted operating system among the whole ecosystem because it has a lot of tools that from Red Hat, and it all closely works and integrates very well, gels very well with your DevOps tools. Right? And of course, Red Hat Linux is optimized. It increases the efficiency whenever you deploy the operating system, right? When you deploy the operating system, right, like we said is Red Hat, you can customize your OS. You can, optimize your operating system by changing the kernel parameters, and you can tune the operating system, right, based on your requirement. So that is the flexibility that you get with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And everything is supported by Red Hat. If you have any issues, definitely we can reach out to Red Hat and they will support it. So because this is an enterprise software, the support will be given by the Red Hat vendor, right? And what is the experience that you get with Red Hat, right? That is, you can manage your whole hybrid cloud platform with enterprise Linux. And also, you can deploy this Linux operating system anywhere. It can be on-prem, it can be on public cloud, it can be private cloud, or it can be on the hybrid cloud, right? So based on your requirement, you can deploy whatever you want. And there are some tools called Red Hat Insights and Red Hat Ansible. These are the two tools which helps you to manage the Linux infrastructure, right? Similarly, automation, right? RHEL system integrates well with the automation tools like Ansible. So Ansible is from Red Hat, and it's one of the popular tools that is used both in DevOps and also in the infrastructure automation. We call it as IaaC, right? Infrastructure as code, right? Upgrades. Red Hat provides you the upgrades to your version, and Red Hat gives a 10 years life cycle to your operating system. Like if you purchase an operating system from RHEL, they will give the support for the next 10 years, right? And if you still need, you can also extend the support by buying the Red Hat EUS subscription as well. So you have that flexibility to use the product version of Linux for 10 or and more years. Migration, right? You can migrate your Linux operating systems from your core OS or from Oracle Linux to RHEL operating system. Right? Red Hat has given some tools to migrate as well, so that you can migrate. And deployment, you can deploy RHEL servers. Of course, security, you have firewalls, inbuilt firewalls in the Linux, inbuilt security incorporated. You have SE Linux incorporated into the enterprise Linux. So these are all the security features which are embedded inside your RHEL operating system. Right? Of course, when everything is streamlined, the operating system will give you consistent performance, right? So it will track, monitor your issues on the OS, and once the issues are tracked, it again sends the data to the Red Hat Insights, and Insights will validate your underlying machine. So all these tools will work together which will make this operating system robust, right? Now, right? Why Red Hat makes it, why Red Hat is so different from other operating systems? You have a lot of other operating systems as well, right? Why it is different, right? So, as I said, right, streamline management and automation. Like in your environment, like if you're working in a company, and if a company has 200 Linux servers, right? I can see those 200 servers in one place, which is Red Hat Satellite. I can manage those 200 servers from one location, and I can push the code, update the servers, and I can do the bulk operations on all these nodes, right? So that is where the management is streamlined. In integrated analytics and remediation. Now, previously we have seen the Red Hat Insights and Satellite, right? If you observe, if you see my highlighter, Red Hat Insights and Red Hat Satellite, right? So Red Hat Insights is the one which provides the analytics to the servers, and it feedbacks to the Red Hat in Red Hat Insights, and then the insights will work with Ansible automation, and it provides you the remediation scripts automatically. Right? So these are all integrated. You don't have to break your head to fix the issue. Red Hat will give you the recommendation and an Ansible playbook to fix it. So that is remediation. Of course, security resources and tools that you get, SC Linux, firewalls, and all those stuff. Right? And also, Red Hat has been partnered with multiple vendors, hardware, software vendors, and Red Hat works very close with all the vendors, and those products like GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins, and you have MongoDB, MySQL, Oracle, there SAP HANA. So these are all the softwares that work closely with Red Hat, and they are all supported on Red Hat. Okay? As I told you, like lifetime, long long-term life cycle, which is 10 years support that you get for Red Hat products, and developer-friendly design and features. So it all depends upon how comfortable the operating system is, so that you can use and you can modify, optimize based on your requirement. That flexibility you get it from Red Hat, right? Now, so this is how the whole Red Hat portfolio looks like. See, as far as you know, Red Hat, probably you might be aware that Red Hat Enterprise Linux is an operating system, right? But Red Hat has a lot of other products in its portfolio, right? The first one is Red Hat OpenStack, right? OpenStack is a private cloud offering from Red Hat. Like if you want to build your own private cloud, right? So OpenStack is one of the best platform. Mostly all the telecom industries across the world, not in India, across the world, mostly the telecom industries are using the OpenStack platforms, right? Right? And in the OpenStack platform or in any hybrid environments, including VMware, public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid clouds, as I told you, Red Hat Enterprise Linux is the base operating system, right? And the containers can be run only on Linux-based environment. You cannot run containers on Windows. Of course, you can run containers on Windows, but you can run individual containers. You cannot run them as a cluster. Right? So that's the reason Kubernetes only supports Linux. Right? And Red Hat also has the Red Hat Ansible automation platform, which can help you to automate not only your infrastructure, but you can integrate Ansible to automate the DevOps lifecycle as well. It all depends upon how you want to integrate Ansible. See, Ansible again, if you see Ansible, right? Ansible, you can automate infrastructure, which is your VMware environment, public cloud, private cloud. You can automate networking, like you can automate your switch configurations, router configurations, or any network security devices, right? You can automate Windows, you can automate Linux, you can automate DevOps, right? So you can automate any AI manual tasks. You can integrate that with Ansible, and Ansible can automate that process, right? So Ansible is also one of the great tool to work with, right? And the biggest product, like the best product that they have carry is also Red Hat OpenShift, which helps you to run applications using the DevOps practices, right? And on top of OpenShift, right, you can use Enterprise Linux AI. This is the special image built to run the AI workloads. OpenShift AI is an offering from Red Hat to run your OpenShift workloads. Application Foundation, this is where your DevOps will come into picture, right? And then on top of all these products, we have satellite server. So satellite server is a patching server, right? If you have hundreds of servers, including Red Hat, OpenShift, OpenStack, right? So how do you patch them? Because if you have 200, 300 servers, you cannot sit and do the patching manually, right? So that is where the satellite will come into picture. Satellite will help you to automate the underlying infrastructure, right? And insights, Red Hat Insights. So this is the software where it gathers your uh, OS information or your RHEL information, and then this insights will send the feedback to satellite, and satellite will work with Ansible to generate a remediation playbooks. So all these tools work closely, right? And Red Hat Advanced Cluster Management. If you have multiple OpenShift environments, like one OpenShift is in on-prem, the other one is on AWS or GCP or any other platforms, right? So you can integrate that with the advanced cluster management. And if you have multiple clusters, you can manage the security, advanced cluster security for Kubernetes. Right? Red Hat is also providing the security for the Kubernetes platform. And you also have Red Hat Developer Hub, where you have some developer tools, developer IDEs that you can integrate with OpenShift and DevOps tools, and then you can seamlessly deploy and write the code, plan and deploy based on your requirements, right? Okay, so that is how the Red Hat portfolio is all about. And again, there are only few softwares from Red Hat, but there are a lot of software that are distributed by Red Hat. But these are the most prominent tools, and these are the tools which currently handle all the DevOps and AI workloads, right? Right. So this was my last slide on the for the today's session. But before that, I just want to also cover a few things on certifications, right? So if you look at the certifications, right, probably I'll share this link later. When you again, um, So right? See, you might be good at Linux or Red Hat, right? But who is certifying you that you are good at Red Hat? There is someone who needs to certify you, right? So that is where the certification will come into picture, right? So once you are a Red Hat certified, you will have some sort of recognition in the market, because Red Hat exams are not like your other exams, right? So these are performance based exams, right? So they will give you a real scenarios, right? So you need to log in, fix all the issues, and then once you are able to resolve all the issues, you will be able to clear the exam and you'll get the certificate. It's not like your MCQ questions, right? So these are all performance based questions, right? So that is the reason Red Hat exam has value in the market, because it's not easy for everyone to crack. Because for your other certifications, you can read the MCQs and you can go right. But for Red Hat, you have to practice because you need to crack the exam, right? So if you want to what you call start your journey with Red Hat, the first course will be RH123. That's the basic system administration one. And then go with RH134, that is the administration two, that is the second paper. So which will give you a clear understanding of what Red Hat is, how it works, how to work on Red Hat, how to install the operating system, how to install the softwares. You will learn all those basic system administration tasks, not basic to intermediate level. You will be able to learn all these system admin tasks. Right? So once you are done with this, right, then you can write the RHCSA, Red Hat Certified System Administrator. So that will endorse you that you're already Red Hat Certified System Administrator, right? Once you clear this RHCSA, you need to focus on RHCE, Red Hat Certified Engineer. Right? So Red Hat Certified Engineer, and again for this RHCSA, the exam is EX200. Again, I'll share this link later to Anjali and the organizers. They will be able to share this link, right? So this is the link, or probably I'll share this link in the chat so that you don't have to. Right. So let me share the link in the chat. This is where you can get the. I've shared the link. Um, right. That is your RSCSA, and the exam is REX200, right? And then next thing is you need to focus on Ansible, which is Red Hat RH294. And when you complete this course, you will be able to write the RHCE exam, which is EX294, right? So by completing these two certifications, you will get Red Hat Certified Engineer certificate, right? And the preliminary certificate before getting RHCEs, you need to complete RHCSA. That is important. So first you need to do this, and then once you clear, you will be eligible to write the RHCE exam. Right? So this should be your path, right? Again, once you clear this, again your learning curve should not stop. As I said, right, you need to circle back to the same diagram which I've shared, right? So probably I'll go back, right? You need to focus on the image that you see on the right side, right? So once you complete Linux and Ansible, RHCSA and RHCE, you need to focus on Kubernetes. Okay, you need to focus on Kubernetes, and then you need to again um, uh, you need to focus on Kubernetes and you need to focus on OpenShift. And on top of that, you need to focus on CI/CD tools like Git, GitHub, Argo CD, and all those tools to integrate or to build a CI/CD pipeline. Right. So this is how your approach should be, or part should be in the certification. Right. Right. So like Linux is a very fundamental certification, right? But again, as I said, knowledge-wise, you will get the knowledge on how to manage the Linux operating system. Second thing is when you do RHCE, it covers the automation piece as well, right? So Linux and automation, you are killing two birds with one shot, right? So that covers Ansible as well as your Linux operating system. After that, my advice is to learn Kubernetes and then OpenShift. Okay. Then with your programming experience, like if you have learned Java, Python, PHP, right? You write a code and then you deploy on top of the OpenShift. Again, writing the code in a regular environment and in the container environment is totally different. Right? If you write a simple Python code, like as an example, you can run on a container and you can run on a VM as well. But the way how container behaves is totally different, right? So you need to change the code, and follow the DevOps principles, while writing the code as well. So these are the things that you need to focus, and then you can once you learn Kubernetes and OpenShift, then you will be able to deploy your DevOps, what you call pipelines, or you can also deploy MLOps, ALOps pipelines on the OpenShift platform. Right. So mostly companies who are running, AI workloads, right? They are using OpenShift on NVIDIA graphics card. So they have the NVIDIA infrastructure. On top of that, they are installing OpenShift. On the OpenShift, they are installing their LLMs or AI/ML workloads. Right? So definitely there will be a good scope both in DevOps and AI platforms. Right? Right. So all right. So I think that's it for today. So any questions, from anyone? Probably Anjali will unmute. You can unmute, and if you have any questions, you can speak out, and then we can discuss. Uh, if you have any queries, any questions from anyone? Yeah, that's a preliminary question. Someone was asking like why Linux is not free, right? Okay, in open source terminology, right? When people say free, it's not free of cost. When they say free, your software code is free to use. That is, I can download a Linux kernel for free. I can change the Linux kernel based on my requirement. That is the meaning of free, not because the cost is free. The usage of the Linux kernel is free. And why Red Hat is not free? Because Red Hat is giving this support. If I install Red Hat and if I have a subscription and if I have issues with my RHEL server, right, I can raise a request and Red Hat will fix it. Right. So that is how uh, you know uh, that is why Linux is not free. Linux is free only in terms of code. Yeah. So why OpenShift is running? What is the advantage of running OpenShift on NVIDIA? Right. See, NVIDIA is a hardware platform which provides the GPU services. Right. Now, and GPU cards are the accelerator card, right? Generally, in servers we have CPU. In NVIDIA graphic cards, you have GPUs, which has high computing power, right? Because your AI/ML should capture the images. The processing should be much more higher, right? So if you install NVIDIA, if you have NVIDIA hardware, on top of NVIDIA hardware, people install OpenShift, and the NVIDIA nodes acts as a worker nodes, and on that OpenShift they deploy, they run the AI ML pipelines, right? So like DevOps has pipelines, even AI ML also has pipelines, right? So if you want to integrate those pipelines, where you can trigger a pipeline with OpenShift AI, and then it creates the resources and it attaches the NVIDIA graphic card to the containers, so that your container will be ready to run any activities on AI. So that is how OpenShift is used, and also this OpenShift will be deployed directly on the bare metal. It depends. It depends on the requirement, based on requirement, whether you can deploy directly on physical server, or you can create VMs and you can attach the NVIDIA card onto the VM, and then that node will act as a worker node. So that is how NVIDIA and OpenShift work together to run you know uh, AI/ML workloads, right? So any more questions? You can
Uh,
unmute.
so we can
Yeah,
so we can have another 5 minutes, and then we can wind up.
yeah, yeah. Already we are almost late by 7 minutes, but it's fine.
Yeah,
So
yeah. If you are okay, then we can wait
yeah,
another
yeah.
5 minutes and
So
then
fine, fine. I'm okay because I thought of completing, but because of some technical issues, like we spend extra time.
yeah, yeah, no problem, sir.
Yeah,
That's okay. It's totally fine.
I mean, so if there is anything, you can just unmute, or you can, you can drop a message in chat. You know, I can answer them. And as I said, that I mean,
I have a
let me.
question.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is Jayant here.
yeah,
I
Jay.
just wanted to ask, like, in 2011, actually, I did a Red Hat certification that was for version 5. It was the last exam
Oh,
for version 5. At
hmm.
that time, when they gave the certification, it was the certification didn't have any expiry or something. So,
Uh,
would it be mandatory to uh, take a certification again, or it's fine?
No, I think in your case, re-attempt should be good. The reason is, you said it is on Red Hat 5, right? So, which is
Yes.
a pretty much old version, right? So,
Yeah.
you need to scale up because now it is Red Hat 10, right? So, if
Mhm.
you do Red Hat 10 certification, online certification, so, it will be advantage. And like when they shortlisting the candidates, they might definitely consider the people who has the latest certification, right? Again, it doesn't. Okay, don't be under impression. This is to everyone. Don't be under impression that if you are certified, then you will get a job. No, certification is just a gateway to get the interview call. That's it. Right? After that, when you go in to the interview, you have to face the questions. You have to address these questions, and then you have to crack the interview. It all depends upon your
Yeah.
knowledge. But for your answer, yes. I mean, if you ask me, since see, if you have written on 8 or 7, still it is considerable. But 5 is a bit
Mhm.
older, so I would recommend you to do that.
Because I have been working like almost more than 10 years. I've been working in Red Hat,
Hmm.
and I think the last version 8 was used, and then in
Hmm.
our company also they moved to Ubuntu versions.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
choices,
Okay.
but most of the OSs are almost similar, all the Unix-based
Yeah.
flavor. A few commands will be changed. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
no problem. Any more questions from anyone? Right. So, I mean, probably you guys have not seen the first screen of my introduction, right? So, you can just use my name, and, I'm available in LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can also ask me in LinkedIn, right? So there is a question actually. So DevOps already reduces the automation. So what extra benefit that AI adds on top of automation, right? So as I told you, right, AI will add the predictive intelligence. See, why we are using AI in the real-time world? General question. Because it will predict, right? In the next few hours, this might happen, this might come, this might happen, right? It will give you some analysis, right? So the same AI is adding the predictive intelligence to my DevOps so that I can proactively fix all the issues, even to reduce the downtime. Even though if I have any downtime, not only downtime, to fix the issue also, right? I don't have to wait for the issue to happen. Prior to that, based on my intelligence report or predictive intelligence, I can patch the application, and I can start redeploying the application. That is the advantage of AI in DevOps, right? So using the predictive intelligence, right? In DevOps also, see, if there is an issue, it will rerun the application, right? When it sees an issue, it reruns with some patches, right? But even I don't want that. I want to analyze, identify the issue before it comes, and then before it crashes and rebuilds, I want it to redeploy with the new bug fix. And that is the help of the DevOps uh, and AI in DevOps. Any questions? Right? So, you can reach out to me if you have any questions, or you can reach out to, your CSC department head, or Amrita Silata, or you can ping me. We can, I can answer your questions, queries, and then if you have still any questions in terms of how to carve your career or what is the path, see, it's not like a one-time session. If you guys are still really interested to take this to the next level, like understand what should be your path and how to improve and how to enhance, right? We can conduct one more session or multiple sessions, and we can work together and understand and then learn together. LinkedIn profile.
Yes, that would be better.
Yeah. So it's not like a one time. See, as I told you, right? DevOps is not like, you cannot, learn this overnight. Right? To be frank, to learn OpenShift itself, it took me 1.5 years to understand, because I did it in 2018. At the time, it was new. There was no one, right? So it took time for me. So these tools also will take some time, right? So, so, so it will take some time. So you have to have run multiple sessions, understand, and then you have to start learning from now on, right? Because you don't have the time to, learn all this after your curriculum, right? So you have to do this, parallelly, right? This is my profile, which I am sharing it on the chat.
Okay.
Yep.
So with that, we come to the close of today's insightful webinar on transforming code into the real world deployments with the Red Hat tools. So we hope this session helped you to see how lines of codes can evolve into meaningful real world solutions that make an impact. Like, as you know, every innovation we see today began as a few lines of code and a powerful idea, right? So, yeah, a heartfelt thanks to our speaker, Mr. Arvind, for sharing your expertise, and to all the participants for your active engagement. It was really a fruitful session, I really believe, because we have a very good number of participants. We saw a good number of participants in this webinar, and all your questions and enthusiasms made this session truly valuable too.
Yeah.
So we look forward to meet you again, as you said, in more, upcoming sessions. So until then, keep exploring, keep building, and keep transforming ideas into reality through codes. Thank you all, and have a very good or wonderful night ahead. Sorry.
Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, everyone. All the best. Hope your learning journey should continue. And especially in this AI, you should be very rigorous in learning. So hopefully, and you can add me in the LinkedIn, and if you have any questions, I can answer. Or as I said, right, we can again conduct few more sessions to make you more comfortable in these technologies, and then you can decide where you want to fit in. Like someone said cybersecurity, someone said AI, someone said DevOps, right? It is up to, based on your interest, you can choose your path, right? All right. So all the best, and keep in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yep.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah.